Bonsoir à tous. Welcome. You're watching Eye on Africa. I'm Clarisse Fortuné. Coming up, these stories from across the continent. North Africa is in the grip of a severe heat wave with temperatures nearing 49 degrees. Across Algeria, Morocco, and Tunisia, raging wildfires have burned for days, fueled by intense heat and strong winds, and firefighters are struggling. 6 years after the brutal killing of a 90-year-old woman accused of witchcraft shocked Ghana and the world, activists say justice remains incomplete. The death became a symbol of the fight against witchcraft-related violence, but despite the years of campaigning, Ghana still has no law criminalizing witchcraft accusations. And one of East Africa's leading film events is back in Rwanda's capital. The Kigali Cine Junction is bringing 5 days of screenings, workshops, and industry discussions to audiences across Kigali, with events taking place at the iconic Century Cinema in Nyamirambo. North Africa is grappling with an intense heat wave, with temperatures soaring to nearly 49 degrees in some areas. Algeria, Morocco, and Tunisia have been battling devastating forest fires for more than a week, as extreme heat, dry conditions, and strong winds fuel the flames and hamper firefighting efforts. And authorities are struggling to bring the fires under control, raising concerns about their impact on communities and the environment. Emily Boyle reports.
Smoke and fire, all too familiar scenes in northern Algeria, as extreme heat has turned its luscious forests into kindling. This volunteer is doing his best to control the blaze.
We are surrounding the fire to prevent it from spreading to the residential areas. I call on the residents to support us in fighting the flames hand in hand. Algeria comes first.
Fires have been tearing through the Algerian countryside for several days, as temperatures have soared to over 48 degrees for multiple days in a row. Firefighters are working around the clock as high winds exacerbate the already critical situation.
The fire started in the morning and was not widespread, but then there were strong winds which caused it to spread. We managed to contain it, to prevent it from spreading further, and we quickly intervened to prevent it from reaching this neighboring village near dense forests.
More than 1,400 fires are said to have started since the beginning of July, and 6 people are reported to have lost their lives. These scenes are not limited to Algeria. Morocco is suffering the same fate. Emergency services managed to contain this blaze in the northeast of the country. 310 fires have been recorded since the beginning of the year, and 1,850 hectares of land are thought to have been lost. Blackened forests line the Tunisian coast as well, where the heatwave has pushed the national grid to the limit, fueling frustration around the country as residents try to manage the deadly temperatures.
Now, 6 years ago, on July 23, 2020, a video showing the beating of a 90-year-old woman in the Savannah region of Ghana circulated online, sparking nationwide outrage and calls for change. The woman, Akwa Dente, had been accused of witchcraft. She later died from the attack. So while her death became a turning point in a campaign against witchcraft-related violence, activists say the fight is far from over. Despite years of advocacy, Ghana still has no law specifically criminalizing witchcraft accusations. Joining us now is Francis Nyanthaki from Amnesty International in Ghana. Welcome, Mr. Francis Nyanthaki. So for viewers unfamiliar with the issue, can you tell us how widespread are witchcraft accusations in Ghana today?
Thank you for having me. Witchcraft accusation is quite widespread in Ghana, to the extent that it is both entrenched culturally and in religious contexts. Across the northern part of Ghana, it is common to accuse an elderly woman who is bereaved, has lost a child, has lost a husband, or because of economic circumstances of being a witch, and that is enough for the whole community to attack and ostracize such a woman find another safe space, else the society or the community that the individual is coming from is likely to lynch, beat, and harm such an individual. And so it's an unfortunate incident, and it's not peculiar to one community. It is widespread across the country, but predominantly within the northern Ghana, it has become so entrenched, such that it's being condoned by the traditional leaders as well as some religious sects within these communities.
So what about that killing of this 90-year-old woman, Aqua Dente, that shocked the nation, many people? So has that case changed public attitudes, or did they have any political response?
Thank you. Two of the perpetrators were sentenced to 12 years imprisonment, but that has not done much to reduce the incidence of witchcraft accusation, and the political response to witchcraft accusation hasn't been impressive. Since Aqua Dente was lynched, though it was outraged and it was condemned, not much has been achieved in terms of policy and law, and in terms of positioning society to stop this kind of attacks that is meted out to our women, especially the aged in these communities. Sadly, a law was passed through a private member bill in Parliament, but it did not receive presidential assent. So as it is today, there is no law protecting these vulnerable women in these communities and Ghana as a whole.
There was actually a witchcraft bill that was signed by Parliament, had already been passed in July 2023, but it wasn't signed into law by former President Nana Akufo-Addo. Why? Do you know why?
Thank you. So the statement from the presidency was more on procedural, that the private member bill, the president would not have sent it because of the cost to the state. And so we think that currently the president and the ministers in charge should be able to take over this bill and present it as an executive bill so that Parliament can pass it and for the president to assent to it. Because we can no longer wait. Our women are being maltreated. They are living in a state that it degrades them of their dignity and their humanity. And so it is important that the president, the minister, the attorney general, minister of justice, and the Ministry of Gender and Social Protection take this bill as an agent bill and send it to Parliament for parliamentary approval, so that at least these women can have something to hold on to, so that should they be attacked, they can have redress through the law courts and to seek for reparation.
Thank you very much, Francis Nantaki from Amnesty International in Ghana. Thank you. That's all we have time for. Thank you very much for your analysis. I'm sure we'll go back to that story. Well, now to Kigali. Well-established highlight for African cinema is back. The Kigali Cine Junction offers Rwandans 5 days of screenings, workshops, and panels, split between outdoor venues and an iconic cinema in a Nyamirambo neighborhood. Our correspondent Aurore Bayou was at the opening ceremony.
Under the Kigali night sky, the downtown pedestrian zone vibrates as an open-air movie theater. Hundreds of cinema lovers gather on plastic chairs for the opening film, Wibuka, by Rwandan director Jonas Dadeski. Starring former Miss France Sonia Roland, this gripping drama follows a diaspora woman returning to Rwanda to face long-buried memories. This fourth edition celebrates creative independence and regional storytelling at a pivotal moment for local cinema, fresh off the triumph of Benimana, the first Rwandan film to win the Caméra d'Or, the prize for Best First Feature at the Cannes Film Festival in May. More than 2,000 visitors, filmmakers, and international guests are expected for a lineup that spans every genre.
Part of what we do is coming in the public spaces, because we're like, if everyone doesn't have that culture, let's go towards them. Let's make a step towards them, go in public spaces. It's places that they don't usually associate with cinema, but where they can come and discover movies, and also because our festival has also a social aspect where you can come and hang out and meet filmmakers.
And the energy will stay high all week. Nigerian cinema takes center stage with the rebellious Surreal 16 collective, who break Nollywood codes with experimental storytelling. Thrill seekers will catch Jean-Luc Herbulot's cult favorite, Saloum, an intense Senegalese thriller mixing myth and mercenaries. Between masterclasses with American producer Paul Garns and family screenings like the animated adventure Yakari, the festival Kigali Cine Junction proves African cinema is bolder and more diverse than ever.
And that's how we've reached the end of our program. Thank you for watching Eye on Africa. Stay tuned for more news on France 24.